My name is Beatrice Adu. The news is also live on Kasmi 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Parliament reconvenes for the third meeting after a long break. For this session, the House is expected to consider some key bills, including the free senior high school bill. We are live in the House. Also, education CSOs push against attempts by Get Fund to provide scholarships to students who want to pursue foreign master's courses as they ask Parliament to injunct the process. Also this afternoon, National Identification Authority staff strike enters day 2, despite expectations of a positive outcome in a meeting with the National Labour Commission scheduled for Wednesday, the 12th of June. And much later, we return to Ekomok slum community near the Nkrumah Circle as dwellers begin to pick up the pieces days after a ravaging fire wiped out the community, rendering hundreds homeless. Thank you very much for joining us today. Now, the Minister of Education is set to present the free senior high school bill to Parliament at its third meeting, which commences today. Now, the essence of the bill will be to entrench the implementation of the program that has been criticized by the minority NDC and some civil society organizations for a review. At a leadership meeting with the Parliamentary Press Corps, Majority Leader Alexander Apanyomaking said he expects both sides to build consensus on what will be the shortest meeting of the House in an election year.
This meeting is supposed to be very short, and we have a couple of bills that are before us to expedite action on. We have the Parliament bill, which is before us, the presidential transition bill. Of course, it has to come in because an election year there's going to be the transition, so it's a constitutional imperative. The consumer protection bill, the Mike talked about consumer protection bill, is also high on the table. Then the housing authority bill, these are very critical to our people. The architects registration bill, the economic and organized crime office amendment bill. There's been a lot of talks on IOCO, how they carry their mandates and the human rights issues related there too. I've been a practitioner in the area of financial crime, and I had a lot of issues with how IOCO operated. So I'm sure this amendment would seek to address some of those things. We have environmental issues. Our law on the environmental protection is quite old. I think there's a law that is coming up. So the Environmental Protection Agency bill is also high on the table. The Minister of Education will present the free SHS bill to Parliament. The Chapter 5 of the Constitution provides some aspirational indicatives.
You heard the Majority Leader Alexander Apanyomaking in that remark at the opening of this session of Parliament. Komla Klucher is our parliamentary correspondent. He joins us live on the line now. Komla, what more can you tell us from proceedings today?
Well, on the specific of the introduction of the free SHS bill, I had asked the Majority Leader whether some further consultation will be done on this before they present a final bill, because of the lot of concerns that have come, regarding this. If you look, for instance, the majority criticizes CSOs, and there's a talk about reviewing it. Even the government at a point in time have said that yes, they do agree to some review. So I asked whether all of these will be done through some serious consultations. He said yes, of course. some amount of consultation is expected to be done. But in even doing consultation, TVET has already been added to it, and so it will only come in the right direction for this to be done. As I speak with you, the House or sitting is yet to commence. There's no indication that they've even had a pre-sitting, that's the leadership of the House and then the Speaker. I am unable to tell. It does. I do not also see much of the minority MPs in here. It's just a few of the NPP MPs who are here in their numbers. They were locked up in a meeting early on, but there's no indication as to why they are not here as of yet. But the House is yet to say.
Komla, we heard the majority leader say that, or emphasize the fact that this is going to be a very short session. Beyond what you've told us, what should we expect within this very short period?
His championing of the tax waivers to be given to companies under the 1B1F, I believe is one of the things that he's going to push very hard. We have seen some apprehension of the sort from the minority who say no, they cannot just grant this tax waivers without critically looking at it. The amount has been, for want of a better word, given out in tax waivers needs to have a holistic approach. But we'll see how we'll be able to push this through and have it. Then in terms of it being a very short meeting, of course, they have to go out there and campaign. This is an election year, and so quite a good number of them will also not be available. But it is expected that government business will have people, if it says they are aware of this, and they will put all their arsenals forward to be able to have government business attended to, and properly so, the appropriate laws passed.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Komla Kluche, parliamentary correspondent, for bringing us those details as Parliament commences a new session ahead of the December general election. Now, some civil society organizations in education are kicking against the attempt by the Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund, to provide assistance to students who want to pursue foreign master's courses out of Ghana. The CSOs, the Africa Education Watch, and the Institute for Education Studies, iFirst Ghana, say that the attempt falls outside what Ghana's laws say and why Parliament approved an amount of 3.9 billion cedis to the GET Fund. And Judith Brown joins me in the studio with more from that statement, joint statement, as it were, issued by these two groups. Judith, what are the specific issues they are raising?
Right, and so the Africa Education Watch as well as IFES, they are raising issues on the legality of what GET Fund plans to do currently in terms of awarding of scholarships for foreign schools. And firstly, they raise issues concerning Section 22B of the GET Fund Act 2000 Act 581, which says that the fund is to provide supplementary funding to the Scholarship Secretariat for granting scholarships to brilliant but needy students to study in second cycle unaccredited tertiary institutions in Ghana and not directly administer foreign scholarships. So basically, they're saying that GET Fund is supposed to look for needy students and not just award foreign scholarships to just anyone. So this is what they're trying to raise per Section 22B of the GET Fund Act. Now, they also raise issues on unapproved expenditure, and they're saying that in March 2024, Parliament approved 3.9 billion Ghana cedis allocation to GET Fund based on a specific distribution formula, and that did not include GET Fund scholarships. And so that again is raising questions about the legality of what they're doing, because if Parliament did not approve any money for scholarships, then how then are they planning on giving out scholarships for Ghanaians who want to study abroad? They also raise issues on the non-responsiveness of students' financial assistance regime and gross tertiary enrollment. Now, we already know that GET Fund is already in arrears for many of the students abroad.
Financially.
Exactly. They're already underfunded. And so they're saying that the average student loan amount in Ghana for a year is about 2,250 cedis, and that cannot and it cannot even cover the cost of funding for tertiary education in Ghana for just the first month of study, let alone the entire year. Now, they're saying that this compared to the average cost of one-year foreign master scholarships, which is about 400,000 cedis, makes it unconscionable for Get Fund to even conceive the idea of awarding foreign master scholarships in Ghana today, considering the fact that they're already underfunded.
Thank you.
Now, lastly, they make the point of foreign scholarships and value for money. And over here, they're saying the review of a non-bilateral public foreign scholarships in Ghana indicates that over 95% of programs are not only available locally in Ghanaian universities, but also cost 20 times more to study abroad. And so this does not ensure value for money and must be discouraged in line with His Excellency the President's pledge to protect the public purse. So these are some of the issues that Get Fund, Africa Education Watch and IFES are raising over Get Fund.
Thank you so much, Judith Brown, for bringing us details from that joint statement from these two CSOs. We're joined by the Executive Director of IFES, Dr. Peter Ente. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
One of the things you also emphasize in the statement is the need for Get Fund to allow the Scholarship Secretariat to work directly in terms of awarding these scholarships according to the laws of the country. And in the midst of that, you are also asking for certain things to be done, that the Minister for Education instructs Get Fund to cease the ongoing foreign scholarship application process. Parliament injuncts Get Fund from spending on foreign scholarships, not just because it is unapproved by Parliament, but also amounts to wasteful spending of taxpayers' money, which you've explained in your statement. And the last bit being the presidential candidates in the upcoming elections committing to reforming the public scholarship system to make it meritorious, effective, efficient, transparent, and sustainable. These are the things you have asked for. How do you intend to pursue these?
Thank you very much and good afternoon. I think that we have circulated the statement widely. We have sent copies to the relevant authorities, and we will follow up to ensure that the right things are done. I think you agree with me that we have had challenges with how we implement scholarship schemes in this country. And in recent times, we are even trying very hard to restructure the scholarship secretariat, which have been one of the things that the executive director for the scholarship secretariat have also mentioned, that there's no law governing it, and because of that, a lot of discretions are used in the award of the scholarship. So if these are the challenges that we are facing, coupled with the challenges of funding individual studies in this country in terms of tertiary education, we think that the best thing that we need to do is to streamline the process of awarding scholarship to people in this time and ensure that the process is smooth and devoid of biases. And till we do that, we should not allow any other body or agency try to implement any form of scholarship, especially when it's got to do with foreign masters, which most of them are 90% of those programs can be taken in our tertiary institutions in Ghana.
Beyond the wide circulation of your statement, which you talk about, do you intend to officially notify Parliament? Because you're asking Parliament to injunct the process. Fortunately, Parliament resumed from its recess today.
Yes. So, as I said, we've sent the documents, the statement to relevant authorities. And, of course, one of the relevant authorities will be the Education Committee in Parliament and the Ministry of Education. And we'll follow up to ensure that the right thing is done.
What else do you expect, or are you seeking? Because you seem to raise a number of issues that you're unsatisfied with regarding how we are awarding scholarships and financial management in the education sector.
So basically, we are looking at a situation whereby we have a broad scholarship scheme, secretariat or commission that would streamline the award of scholarship in Ghana, right, from the basic level to the tertiary level. And I think that is what we are expecting the various candidates for election 2024 to commit to reform the public scholarship scheme and make sure that it's efficient, it is effective, and it is transparent, and more importantly, it is sustainable. So this will be one of the things that we want to engage the parties as we go into the elections to commit to ensuring that the whole scholarship secretariat and our scholarship delivery system is reformed. You remember that recently, Cocoa Board indicated that they are going to stop the award of scholarship the Cocoa scholarship to students in the senior high schools. So these are conversations that we need to have so that we have a broad commission that is mandated to issue our scholarship to relevant individuals in the country. And also we find ways and means to ensure that we do not spend more on foreign scholarships for programs that can be undertaken in this country.
Thank you very much, Dr. Peter Enti. He's the Executive Director of IFES, one of the two CSOs asking Parliament to stop an attempt by the GET Fund to award scholarships to Ghanaian students who want to study master's courses abroad. You're still here on the Midday News on 3FM. When we come back, we'll tell you what the NLC is telling striking staff members of the National Identification Authority. Don't go away.
Now is an opportune moment for investors to consider the remarkable investment opportunity presented by the Floria Residence, the pinnacle of luxury living in Cantonment. Offering a range of options from executive studios to lavish penthouses, including 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom apartments. Amenities and services includes round-the-clock security services, dedicated play areas, a bustling commercial zone, state-of-the-art fitness facilities and gym, a well-appointed conference room, an elegant rooftop sky bar, and a breathtaking rooftop infinity swimming pool. Additionally, residents benefit from the convenience of a secured 3-floor underground car park, while those residing in the ocean view penthouses enjoy unparalleled vistas. We are located opposite the Laboni Palace Mall, Accra. Contact us on 0595 700008.
Still here on the Midday News on 3FM. Thank you for staying. Now, the National Labour Commission has summoned striking staff of the National Identification Authority for a meeting. The decision follows what has been a nationwide standstill of all registration activities across the country, which left many customers stranded at offices within the country. Now, the NIA staff are bemoaning poor working conditions and the failure by the government to conclude negotiations as originally scheduled. Despite the summons, the staff of the NIA have not returned to work. Let's take you to the premises again this afternoon and talking about the headquarters of the NIA. Grace Hamwajiman is there. Grace, any different thing you can report for us today?
So when you enter the premises of the National Identification Authority, what greets you on both sides of the premises are a number of empty chairs. The usual and the constant crowd that you normally see here is missing, and this is because of the strike of the staff by the association. Now, a few applicants and registrants who have been here say they are frustrated about the outing because they didn't receive any notice from the staff, or they are not aware of any strike. Of concern to these people, or of concern to these applicants, is the fact that foreigners who show up here are whisked inside and they are sorted, or are whisked inside and they are attended to. But locals or Ghanaians who have come here to access any of the services of the authority are denied. And for them, this is frustrating. Some of them have threatened not to cast their ballots come December 7, and some of them are also worried about the distances they have to travel before coming to the premises of the NIA.
Thank you very much, Grace Hamwa Arjiman, with those details there. The CSOs against HIV, TB and malaria are calling on well-meaning Ghanaians to join them as they hit the streets on the 25th of June to demonstrate for the release of the Global Fund commodities stacked up at the port since May last year. Over 100 containers stocked with critical medications and other medical consumables donated by the Global Fund have still not been cleared for onward distribution to health facilities after several assurances by the government. As concern about a possible shortage of some of the medications heightens, the CSOs intend to hit the street to highlight the situation and the need for urgent action by the government. Interim chair of the country coordinating mechanism of the Global Fund in Ghana, Ernest Otson, says they will petition the president.
Ernest, where do we go from here?
Okay, so we are going to issue another statement today.
Right.
A strong-worded one, of course. And in that statement, we are announcing a demonstration.
Okay.
A very huge demonstration. I would like to use this platform to appeal to all well-meaning Ghanaians who care about the health of our population to join us in this demonstration. The planned date is 25th of this month, and we will on that day present a petition to the president, because we are very surprised that this issue has been going on for how many weeks now, and up to now there has been no executive action on this. So we are calling on all Ghanaians to support us in this action.
Is this the first time that Ghana is receiving such free medication and this delay has happened? Is this the first time?
In fact, it is the first time this is occurring anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world.
Where
And the Global Fund told us, the Global Fund told our health minister, told the parliamentary select committee chair, he told all of us that this is the first time anything like this is happening.
And you heard that the interim chair of the country coordinating mechanism of the Global Fund in Ghana, Ernest Otson, in that interview with Johnny Hughes earlier. Ghana Armed Forces has cautioned against calls for attacks on soldiers. The Armed Forces says such calls pose a significant threat to the security and stability of the country. It follows a viral video in which an NPP parliamentary candidate in the Amenfi East constituency of the Western region, Ernest Frimpong, is heard urging persons suspected to be involved in small-scale mining to resist soldiers. Ernest Frimpong has, however, refuted the allegations that he has endorsed illegal mining and encouraged miners to resist military personnel. In a response to the allegation, Mr. Frimpong claimed that he was taken out of context from the 2-hour engagement with artisanal small-scale miners. But in a press statement issued Monday, June 10, the Director General in charge of public relations at the Ghana Armed Forces, Brigadier General Agrikoshi, said his outfit had taken note of viral videos on social media calling for attacks on soldiers and other security personnel. The statement cautioned the public against such utterances, which it says are not only unlawful but also pose a significant threat to the security and stability of our nation. The Ghana Armed Forces condemned any form of incitement or encouragement of violence against soldiers. It assured all and sundry the Ghana Armed Forces will continue to perform its duties of safeguarding the security of the state and protection of civilians. Let's get some more on this. Richard Kumado is a fraud and security consultant. He joins us live on the phone. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Mr. Kumado. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, stop inciting the public against the military. That is the caution from the Ghana Armed Forces. This must be in order in the face of the statement by the Amenfi East parliamentary aspirant.
Definitely, I agree. It is the right call. I think we are taking it a little bit too far, and if care is not taken, we might be creating extreme positions, making it difficult for the Ghana Armed Forces in particular to enforce the safeguarding duty of our national territory as imposed upon them as law enforcement officers. So I agree entirely with that aspect of their statement that says that stop inciting people to attack our men.
Beyond the statement issued, what would you expect security personnel to do in respect of these gentlemen? I'm saying these gentlemen because when the parliamentary candidate was speaking, the regional minister, who is the head of the Regional Security Council, was sitting behind him. It presupposes that he probably was indirectly endorsing whatever was being said.
You know that Galamsey in itself has been unlawful, and the President of the Republic has signed the anti-Galamsey law. So anybody engaged in galamsey is breaking the law, and it needs to be brought to book. To the extent that he has the audacity and the emphasis to speak in the manner he did as a parliamentary candidate, I think he needed to be arrested as quickly as possible. He shouldn't even be allowed to get into parliament, the front doors of parliament, secondly, because such a person hasn't even been to parliament yet, and is using his partisanship position to threaten the state. That is a threat to the state. And I think to the extent that the head of the rest deck is sitting right behind him, and he's now telling lies that he didn't say that. I think it's unfortunate. But the point also has to be made, Beatrice, that there has been some rumors which the media should be interested in confirming that the authenticity of it, because I understand that some soldiers or some police officers also threaten people who have license legally to mine. And the indiscipline that's infused into our law enforcement agencies could also be the overflow of what we are saying. That notwithstanding, you can't threaten the state and you can't threaten the law enforcement in the manner which you did.
Let's look at the political bit of it. There have been concerns that possibly the words coming from the parliamentary candidate could be a strategy to win the vote of this constituency, because, I mean, the MPP held it and it lost it in 2020. And I'm sure you're aware that in after the elections, we had government officials saying that we lost a number of our seats because of our fight against illegal mining. How would you interpret this interpretation, as it were, of a seeming strategy or subtle one to try to get the seats, and therefore you would have a parliamentary candidate tell constituents people there what he did?
Definitely. You remember the famous speech, Party Nyasika, which means party need money, don't stop the guys from doing galamsey. You remember the other one that was dragged to court, and he was set free by the president. And many people have come to say the president is clearing people involved in galamsey. Then you remember the famous Anas story involving somebody at the highest level involving galamsey. Adding all this, you don't need a soothsayer or a prophet to tell you that government is struggling to win that particular seat or seats within those areas. And they won't want to incite people who want to fight against galamsey. Having said that, I think the approach is very wrong. To threaten the state in the manner he did, he should have taken personal responsibility. But then again, I'm not surprised, because there's no political accountability in this country. If there it is, that guy should have been arrested by now, or he should have resented his decision of going to parliament, because he did not live to expectation as a leader we want to have in this country.
We'll end it here. Thank you very much, Richard Ogbodu. He is a fraud and security consultant. Farmers under the tunnel irrigation scheme in Navrongo in the Upper East region are demanding the immediate removal of Dr. Bonaventure Benedict Alegbam, the managing director of the irrigation company of the Upper East region, who is still in office despite his retirement last year. At a press conference, the farmers said the continued stay of the director was adversely affecting the operations of the company, leading to farm losses. Listen.
We want him out of office. Because he's on retirement. His time is due. Like any other worker, even past MDs, when their retirement ages were up, they left. We don't know why he is still clinging to the position. Second, things are not going well. Farmers are suffering. Like I said, we've all explained from the beginning, farmers are losing their crops entirely. So why should he continue to be at a position and he's not performing? We see him not performing. He's not delivering. So he's on retirement. He should go.
Castro Senyala is our man in the Upper East region. He joins us very briefly for a chat. Castro, what more can you tell us about this situation?
Right. So, Beatrice, the farmers say that Mr. Alegbam has to go by all means. They want someone who would come with fresh ideas to tackle the myriad of challenges facing the irrigation project. They say that the continued stay was affecting crop yield because the man is still in office, does not have knowledge as far as irrigation farming is concerned. They say if government continues to keep him there, despite the fact that he has retired almost 7 months ago, it means that the government does not care about the plight of farmers. And for that reason, they would continue to push on, including, being forced to hold massive demonstrations and other form of protest to drum home their concerns. They say that because he does not know much about irrigation, when it is time to provide water for these farmers to undertake very important farming activities, he ends up blocking the water or not being able to provide the water from the system, and that is what their major concern is about. They also accuse him of grabbing some farms and giving them out to other people who are not even farmers within the area. That is going against their farming activities. And for that matter, they want government, and in fact, the higher authority, to do something about it.
Thank you very much, Castro Senyala, for bringing us those details. We'll bring you an update of the tour by the leader of Movement for Change and that of the MPP, Dr. Baumia, later in our subsequent bulletins. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice Adu. Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good afternoon.
On this frequency, 92.7 3FM.
Hello there, good afternoon. It's time now for Business Daily. Coming up, inflation projected to end 2024 at 20.9%, higher than earlier forecast of 17.4%. We'll bring you details of the AFDB 2024 African Economic Outlook. Plus, Association of Ghana Industries AGI optimistic special economic zone concept could help bolster industry growth, thereby curbing perennial cedi depreciation.
But the report indicates that when you are within an enclave, it comes with significant benefit because of the cluster concept, sharing of infrastructure, sharing of other related skills within the scope.
I'm Miachael. I'll bring you details of our top stories and more shortly. Please don't go anywhere. Well, thank you for staying with us. Straight into our top story. Ghana's inflation is expected to end 2024 at 20.9%. The African Development Bank has revealed in its updated 2024 African Economic Outlook. This is higher than the 17.4% it earlier predicted. It also means inflation could remain outside the Bank of Ghana's bound of 8% plus or minus 2. This report has more.
The AFDB said the outlook is clouded by several factors. These are the impact of fiscal consolidation under the post-COVID program for economic growth, the lingering effects of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, limited access to finance and foreign exchange, and global macroeconomic shocks. However, it said prudent macroeconomic management policies could mitigate the risks. Furthermore, it said the consumer price index would narrow to 11.1% in 2025. Meanwhile, the average consumer price inflation in Africa is estimated to have increased by 3 percentage points to 17% in 2023 from 14% in 2022. East Africa recorded the highest inflation at 26.5% in 2023, with Sudan leading the way at 245.3%. West Africa has the second highest at 20.3%, with Sierra Leone and Ghana topping the list. The report said the higher inflation across Africa has eroded socio-economic gains made from the COVID-19 outbreak.
That was a 3 Business News Desk report. Away from that, President of the Association of Ghana Industries AGI, Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake, has expressed optimism about the potentials of the Free Zone Enclave concept to boost the country's export earnings. This, he believes, could have a positive impact on the perennial cedi depreciation while creating more employment opportunities. Dr. Eyim Dake also called on businesses to take advantage of special economic zone opportunities.
But the report indicates that when you are within an enclave, it comes with significant benefit because of the cluster the cluster concept, sharing of infrastructure, sharing of other related skills within the scope. So this research paper seeks to encourage more enclave concept than a singular company concept. So that will be an issue that we need to encourage the free zones and the policymakers. And you hear the Dr. Adu from Ministry of Trade saying that their framework paper or the policy paper coming out seeks to do more PPP. So when you are doing more PPP, one needs to conceptualize it. When you are doing PPP in an enclave, that is an aggregate and the benefits will cut across. But when there are singular companies running the singular system, how do you deploy a PPP to benefit such singular companies within their own singular enclave? These are the issues we'll explore, but we need to encourage our members that there are a lot of benefits in the export and the free zone companies.
Dr. Humphrey Eyim Dake speaking there. He's the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI. Now, the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana has retweeted calls for urgent execution of the Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2. According to president of the association, Wepia Awal Adugwala, the 2024 planting season is almost ending without any activity from the program. He, however, is optimistic the program has potential to curb recent hikes in food prices if properly implemented.
Food inflation is high. We understand it's almost around 40%. And what government can do in the short term is the speedy implementation of the PFJ 2.0, where government is required to provide inputs on credit to our farmers to be able to grow enough food. This is very crucial to us. And that is why we said, of course, before the inputs are given to the farmers, a registration exercise must take place to compile a comprehensive data of all the farmers in Ghana. And that is why we are saying that the exercise is delaying, considering the number of farmers we have in the country. The rainy season has started. Government has not finished registration of farmers across the country. So when are we going to finish this exercise before the inputs are given to the farmers? Prices of fertilizer, prices of seed, prices of agrochemical is skyrocketing. Farmers cannot afford. And the implication of this is that if they are not able to afford this, what will happen is that some of them, the number of acres they wanted to plant will reduce.
Wepia Awal Adugwala is the president of the Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana. Moving on, the Africa Prosperity Network is urging Ghanaian youth to explore and take advantage of the numerous job opportunities presented by mobile interoperability. According to the chief executive of Blue Space Africa, Samuel Amano, many youth are already benefiting from online trading with partners in neighboring countries, leveraging available mobile money transfer and delivery and systems. He made the call at an upcoming symposium press briefing by the Africa Prosperity Network under the theme Scaling Up Interoperability Using Money to Buy and Sell Across Africa.
Ghanaians are actually exporting across what we call the regional economic clusters, even before AFTA was set up. And we're growing that, and interoperability is going to scale that volume of trade even further. Mobile phone accessories. Everybody uses a phone. There are some countries in the sub-region that doesn't have that volume. So Ghana is a hub. They import to Ghana, and then guess what? They then sell to the regions. And guess what? Logistics is part of it. Now, interoperability in trade, in payments, would actually increase this level of trade. So young people who are saying there are no jobs, actually there are a lot of opportunities, and we're treating you to connect to like an innovation hub so you can learn how to set up your business, get registered, so that you can start trading and creating jobs for yourself.
So that was Samuel Amano. He is the CEO of Blue Space Africa. Now, Ghana is expected to receive a $360 million loan tranche from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, by the end of June. This is according to the IMF's Director of Communications, Julie Kozak. This will bring total disbursement under a 3-year program to roughly $1.6 billion since May 2023. Now, away from that, ESLA PLC a company tasked with managing Ghana's energy sector debt, is facing challenges raising long-term bonds on the financial market. According to Benjamin Nsia, he's the executive director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. This, he warns, could pose a further burden for the company. ESLA PLC's financial report shows a decline in assets, dropping from 9.11 billion cedis in Q1 of 2023 to 5.19 billion cedis in Q1 of 2024, primarily due to a reduction in non-current assets. However, despite the decline in assets, the company's income rose from 24.8 million cedis to 49.7 million cedis year on year. Well, on that note, that'll be all for today's edition of Business Daily here on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Miachael Ogbodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe, and Black Rasta is on standby.